Cedric, Richmond.
I want to thank the gentlelady and scholar from Ohio for recognizing me and putting on this series tonight. Mr. Speaker, just a few weeks ago on January 12th, right here in this chamber, President Obama proudly declared to the citizens of the United States that the state of our union is strong. With that, I agree. However, tonight, just as I did in New Orleans on this holiday, I must stand here and give the State of the Dream address. So today I stand in this chamber and report to the world that the state of the dream is in disrepair. It's in disrepair because of neglect by some and intentional harm by others. Let me first just state what I believe his dream to be. And this is in his own words. In accepting the Nobel Peace Prize, Dr. King said, "I have the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits." So why do I say that dream is in disrepair? Well, inadequate funding, misguided policies stand as a bar to many kids of color from getting a quality education, just like Bull Connor stood in the schoolhouse doors during the Civil Rights Movement. Why do I say the dream is in disrepair? Because too many African-American children have better access to guns and drugs than textbooks and computers. And far too many of them choose guns and drugs. Why do I say the dream is in disrepair? Because the Supreme Court rolled back the protections for minority voting rights. Why do I say the dream is in disrepair? Because the Supreme Court, in a Supreme Court hearing on minority admission policies to colleges and universities, one of our Supreme Court justices demonstrated his bias, his ignorance, and his lack of understanding by trying to justify why blacks should go to lesser colleges and universities. Why is the dream in disrepair? Because the black Supreme Court justice sat there and said nothing. Well, if I was in college and I was playing spades, I'd call him a possible, because you can't count on him to hold up when the game starts. Why do I also say the dream is in disrepair? Because big Wall Street executives can steal millions and never get charged and never get held accountable, while young black kids who shoplift get prosecuted and fill up our jails and our prisons and create what we call the prison industrial enterprise. Some ask, why do the poor and uneducated continue to steal and cheat? Well, the answer is simple: because the rich and educated keep showing them how. So as we stand here this month and celebrate Black History Month, we will not only describe some of the problems, but we will go into some of the solutions that have been tested over time. But let me just say that Dr. King and the generation before us did a great job of making this dream a reality through sacrifice, hard work, and commitment. But somewhere in my generation, we fell off from that sacrifice, determination. Far too many of us are letting reality shows and music videos give our children their misguided sense of morals. Too many of our African American and white middle-class families who have achieved the dream are excited that they're there, but they're telling the rest of the world to get it the best you can. The dream can be realized when everyone realizes that you're not going to help minority communities in spite of minority communities, but we're going to bring them to the table and let them be a co-participant in drafting their accomplishments. So where do we go from here? We continue to invest in things that we know are proven leaders and proven ways out of poverty and ways to get ahead, like education. We have to invest in the Pell Grants in our historically black colleges and universities, because we know that education is the best way out of poverty. We have to invest in summer jobs so that kids in urban areas and impoverished communities can get exposure to a different way of life so that they can help themselves. And we know that a summer job reduces the dropout rate by 50%. What else can we do? We can invest in job training. We can invest in disadvantaged businesses. We can do a number of things, and the good part about it is we have a Congressional Black Caucus that can stand here and introduce legislation if the other side would meet us halfway. So the state of our union will continue to be strong. The state of the dream will become a reality when people join hands together to make sure that the least of us have every opportunity in the world. And I will tell you that the dream was strong. The dream is the same dream that allowed my mother, who's from the poorest place in the country, one of 15 children, to achieve her college degree and raise 2 sons who went off to Morehouse. So the dream is real when I, as the son of a single mother, can go to Morehouse, Tulane Law School, and the Harvard School of Government. That's the dream. So I stand here today as I close and just ask that we do what Booker T. Washington said. We may be as separate as our fingers, but we're as whole as the hand. So this body has an obligation to come together as the hand and make sure that we give every kid from every place in this country the opportunity to succeed. And with that, I yield back.